Welcome back. Episode 3, the Boxer Briefs podcast. We are your hosts. I am the Wild Man.
I'm Cole.
And we are happy to be back in here. Coles, first off, get right into it. How was Thanksgiving?
A wonderful holiday spent with family, football, food. Couldn't be better. How was yours?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking. I quadruple dipped into the mashed potatoes, and it couldn't have been better. But no, it's great to spend some time with the family and given everything that's been going on, socially distant, but still was very nice. Big week in boxing, and we got a big show tonight. We've got a couple fights to cover, fights to preview, and we've got an awesome guest coming up later who we're really excited about. So let's dive right into it. Spence Garcia this weekend.
Couldn't be more excited. I have not been this excited about an upcoming fight since Tyson was going to fight Roy Jones the first time. No, unfortunately, that fight was never made. I was very excited leading up into this Roy Jones-Tyson fight, but this fight being more of where two current fighters at the peak of their career is really going to have an exciting fight, I believe.
I agree with you. I think this is going to be a slugfest. I really do think it's going to the cards. I'm taking Spence on it, but we've talked about it before, and he's been out of the ring now for a year. He had a horrific accident. He's made it very clear that he's very grateful to still be here, and I'm sure he is, because it was terrifying to watch. I'm sure it was 1,000 times more terrifying to be in. So we're happy that he's okay, and even better that he's able to get back in the ring. So we don't know if he's going to be the same Spence. We don't know if he's going to have any limitations. He claims he doesn't. We hope he doesn't. But you never know. And when you get in there, everything can change. And Dany Garcia is no pushover. I mean, the guy's 36-2. His only losses are coming to Showtime, Sean Porter, and Keith one-time Thurman. So, two guys that aren't slouches either. So I think that Spence has his work cut out for him. I give both of these guys credit for getting the ring with one another, because I think that they're two of the guys that are top of the class, and they're always going to be in the conversation for that division. I think it's going to be exciting. I really do. I think Spence takes it, but I do think it's going to the cards.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with you. Errol Spence, he's in the talk for best pound for pound. But he has a very game Dany Garcia standing in his way, and Errol Spence has a promising future in front of him with fights with guys like Pacquiao or Bud Crawford. But if Garcia steps in the way, now he's on the road to be fighting these big names. So it's going to be a very interesting night for the sport, and a very entertaining fight.
Yeah, what a way to close out the year. We've got some big fights coming up. We got Canelo getting back in the ring. We've got Triple G. We got AJ. And this weekend, we're being blessed with Spence and Garcia getting in the ring. So we've got a lot of great fights coming up in this last month of 2020. And hopefully we can say good riddance to 2020 and onto a bigger and brighter 2021, and hopefully get some more of these big name fights, because I know how exciting they are for you and for me as well, and all the fans. So it's good to see, and it's always great to see when you got two guys that are at the top of their class fighting each other.
Yeah, and speaking of good fights, we tuned into a good night. Good fight. I was going to say good night. Wow, that's a Freudian slip there. When we were falling asleep during the fight this past Friday night between Daniel Jacobs and Rosado. Yeah, it was kind of a good night's sleep, wouldn't you say?
I would agree with that. I was expecting that to have a little bit more action than the pay-per-view the following night, but we were sorely mistaken there. I truly did think that Rosado edged Jacobs in that fight. I really did. I thought he was just a little bit more active and had a little bit more meaningful punches. I think the announcer also thought that Rosado won, considering at the end he said, in the winner from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Daniel Jacobs. And as far as I know, and you know, Danny Jacobs is not from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at this point. But I really did think he edged him. He's a tough kid. Obviously, Jacobs has had some huge name fights in recent years, as has Rosado. But I think Jacobs has shown us more in the recent past, and definitely a lot more than he showed us last Friday night, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a snooze fest. Jacobs got in the interview after the fight and said that he basically took it like a sparring session, which is just kind of an odd thing. And, you know, he alluded a little bit to the fact that there was no crowd in there, and it sort of felt like a sparring match. But this guy had everything to gain from having an impressive performance in that fight, and really just looked like he didn't want to be there. And that, you know, he was very lucky to get the decision, because he also had everything to lose if he didn't beat Rosado, kind of take him out of the picture for his weight class. So
agreed. Thankfully, we were able to wipe the slate clean when we moved on to Saturday night, and we saw a great fight with local to us, Worcester, Massachusetts' own Jamaine Ortiz, winning the WBC silver lightweight belt over Sagawa. And that was a heck of a match to watch.
So I didn't even know this fight was on the card. And my cousin texted me, he said, "Hey, you know this kid from Worcester?" And I had no clue, but it was a great way to start off the evening. With Ortiz just being very impressive, very quick. He was a hard puncher. He moved around the ring well, and Sagawa hung with him throughout most of the fight until Ortiz was able to get to him with the body shots and to end the fight. So happy to have a guy from Worcester out there and competing at the top of his division.
Yeah, agreed. And hats off to Sagawa too. I mean, the guy came to fight and he was throwing him back seemingly just as hard in there. So I think had it not ended when it did, I truly felt it really could have gone either way, and perhaps was even leading in Sagawa's favor on the cards. But nevertheless, exciting fight. Always great to see a local kid get in there too, you know, on a pay-per-view event and come out of there with a belt. So that was pretty neat to see.
Yeah, I'll be watching him in days to come for sure. He's worth tuning in for.
Yeah, I think we're going to be hearing his name quite a bit over the next couple of years. So hats off to him, and hope he keeps it rolling. Speaking of keeping it rolling, Nate Robinson did a little bit of rolling on the canvas right after that.
He might still be rolling after that fight with Jake Paul, where you know, he was just laid out on the floor. And
yeah, I think that Jake Paul really showed Nate Robinson that you can't play boxing. This is not sport. This is box. We love box. You know, Nate Robinson, heck of an athlete, Division I football player, Division I basketball player, two-time slam dunk champion in the NBA, played on some great teams, on the Celtics, on the Knicks. Super athletic, super fast, super agile, kind of has everything cut out for him to be a pro athlete. And unfortunately, I don't think he played to those strengths in the ring.
No,
fighting a bigger Jake Paul who was ready to crush, and that's exactly what he did. I mean, every time Nate came in there, it was a tie up, and then if there wasn't a tie up, Nate was getting cracked, and that's what kept happening. And that he was rushing in, you know, bull rushing in and just swinging for the fences, and then if there wasn't a tie up, he was getting cracked.
Yeah, like you said, I thought Nate Robinson didn't really play to his strengths, and you know, you could see in the ring he was very athletic. He moved well. He's a former professional athlete, but if he would have jabbed and tried to avoid Paul and his big punch, you know, we could have seen a different fight there. But he was just too inexperienced to know that's what he should have been doing in the ring, and you know, I don't think Nate needs to hang it up But he needs experience. He would need the time that, at least the time that Paul's had in there, three or four, or a year and a half, in terms of training. So.
Agreed. I want to give credit where it's due. I think Nate Robinson gained a lot of people's respect just for getting in there. I know we've seen, people mocking him and making fun of him, but he really did gain a lot of respect to step in the ring, first professional fight, on a pay-per-view card. I mean, Tyson Roy Jones card at that. You're talking top of the food chain when you're on a card like that, millions of viewers, and he got in there and he tried, and hope he's all right. I mean, he definitely probably heard Enter Sandman playing at one point, but I'm hoping he's okay. He seemed to be all right once they got him up and out of there. But Jake Paul definitely showed he's got some strength, and he can tag you. There's no doubt about that. But it'll be interesting to see once his competition steps up against people that have never boxed before.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I thought Robinson laid it all out there, no pun intended. But you see some guys that are professionals that don't lay it all out there. They kind of mailed it in, and they're just trying to go the distance.
I mean, we saw that Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly saw that Friday night. So hopefully we don't see that again in the near future.
Agreed. But right after that fight, we did see a fight go the distance with Iron Kid Dynamite Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. And it was everything I ever dreamed of. I mean, I was just excited that no one got hurt. We never want to see anyone get hurt. No one got hurt. They both laid it all out there. I mean, Tyson came out swinging. Roy turned it on in the second half, which is very characteristic of him. Both of those guys can still stick and move. Both of those guys hit each other pretty good a few times. And I'm sure we're both very sore the next morning. But, hey, man, I'm not messing with either of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, Roy Jones was holding his midsection in the post-fight interview, and he
much like you after Thanksgiving dinner.
Much like me after most dinners. I've been known to overindulge now and again, but he spoke to the fact that Tyson still went to the body well, and I think he was kind of happy to have gone in there with him and say, wow, I really fought a legend, and now I know what it was like to feel this guy's punches.
Yeah.
And they spoke about, or they tried to plan the fight in 2003 and it fell apart. But just kind of speaks to the fact what that fight would have been like. Both of those guys at that time, a little bit past their prime, but still two of the biggest names in boxing history.
Yeah, agreed. And it was cool to see multiple flashes of 80s Tyson and 90s, early 2000s Jones in there. It was really exciting. I really thought they both put on the show that everyone wanted to see. I mean, you're going to get the people that's, I wanted to see Tyson knock him out with that uppercut or take him down with a body shot, or I wanted to see Roy just, keep tagging him until he couldn't fight anymore. But this is exactly what I wanted to see. You got to see both guys play to their strengths, stick to their game plans that they've had their entire lives, and prove that once a fighter, always a fighter. Both of those guys, when they got in there, I think you and I were a little nervous how it was going to go. But, man, they flipped that switch, but also showed great respect for each other in the ring, and that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. And I always respected Roy's speed, and obviously that slowed down, and I respected Tyson's power, which I'm not sure has slowed down so much, but his speed had slowed down in such that he didn't connect with Roy to the head with too many of those power shots, which is probably best for Roy in his life going forward. So, sure,
yeah, I think we got a treat. I'd love to see what's next for both of them. There's been talks of Tyson Holyfield and Tyson McNeely. We've heard a bunch of things, so I'm excited to see what happens for both of them. It was fun. It was very well done, and I look forward to it. Speaking of getting in the ring with Roy Jones Jr., we have a very special guest on this evening, DaCarree Scott, the Mack truck from Atlanta, Georgia. One of Roy Jones's sparring partners leading up to the Tyson fight. We're really excited to have him on tonight.
Yep, I'm a big DaCarree guy, so I wouldn't like to get hit by Tyson's uppercut, and I wouldn't want to be hit by the Mack truck. So either way, you're feeling it the next day, and I'm sure that's what Roy felt to some extent leading up to the fight, and that's what he wanted to feel to give him the confidence to get back in the ring and fight the legend of Iron Mike. Agreed.
Well, let's get DaCarree dialed in here and hear what he has to say about working with Roy for that fight.
Excited.
All right, we got our first guest, DaCarree Scott, the Mack truck from Atlanta, Georgia, undefeated, 3-0, 3 knockouts, future world champion, never been past the second round. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine, man.
That's good to hear. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I had a good time.
That's good. What's it like right now with the pandemic? Were you able to get together with anybody? Or?
Yeah, just my cousins, they came over. I had my friends from the boxing gym, they came over, and we just, we played video games, and we ate, but we didn't eat too much. So it's been a good day. It was a good day.
You got it. Yeah, I hear you, man. I see you playing some of that 2K.
Yeah, we playing 2K a lot. That's kind of.
I saw you with the Celtics the other day.
Yeah, I like Boston.
Okay. All right.
I like Boston.
We go to a lot of games when we can. Obviously, we can't right now, but yeah, they had a tough exit this year, but
the unexpected exit. You can say that.
I agree. Yeah. But we'll see. We got Tristan Thompson, Teague, losing Hayward's going to be a big hit, but we'll see. We'll see what they can do this year. I think they're going to be good on 2K though.
Yeah, they was. I had a blast with them.
All right, good. That I'm interested to see how that kid from Vanderbilt they just drafted, Naismith, Aaron Naismith, supposed to be a sharpshooter. So hopefully they can do better this year. So we just wanted to jump in and when did you start boxing? How old were you and what got you into it?
I started boxing when I was 9. My mom, she used to do it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she fought in like the Golden Gloves as a novice, but she only had probably 2 fights and then she was done. But she used to do it and she used to work out a lot. So when I was born, I was playing football, basketball, soccer. I did everything. So it was during the off season. I think it was between February basketball and football. It was a 3-week break before they start seasons. And she was like, "You need to do something." So boxing, she took me to a boxing gym, and ever since that's kind of when I started. But then I was still living in Denver. But when I moved to Atlanta, moved to Atlanta when I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
I was still playing football, and I didn't really football was too serious down here for that age. And they always said I wasn't big enough or I wasn't playing. So I was like, "Man, I'm gonna go back to my mom and box." And she said, "What?" I said, "I'm gonna do it for real." And that's ever since then. That's all I've been. I ain't played football, basketball, nothing since I was I want to say 13. I haven't played.
She kept you busy. You just mentioned 3 different sports, and then she said you had to do something in the off season. You were pretty active as a kid, that's for sure.
Yeah,
they must have some different rules down in Atlanta because I remember playing Pop Warner growing up. You couldn't be over 140 pounds. They wouldn't even let you play. So they had a weight restriction.
Hey, they had it here. It was you couldn't run the football. If you touched the football, it would be a dead play. They had to wear patches on your jersey. If you was bigger than you couldn't run the football, catch the football, nothing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's kind of the rule. Yeah,
I can feel you on that one. They stuck me on the line, offense and defense, and you get no credit for nothing.
Nothing.
You're the one coming out all muddy and cut up, and they're giving the high fives to the kid that ran the 3-yard touchdown.
Exactly.
So when did you realize that this is what you wanted to do as your career full time?
I want to say like 14. I watched it's crazy. My friend, he used to box. He from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, bro, you box? I was like, yeah. He was like, you should take it for real, dude, for real. And so I started running around the neighborhood my own, watching boxing, and my mom was like, she would say like, I'm gonna get you in the gym. I promise, but it was just times it never really happened. She didn't think I was for real.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just ended up doing it on my own, went to our own gym, and I just started training. I really was training myself. I never had a real trainer. Like I didn't have a real trainer. Like they always would just I once they take my money, if you could say that. So I just stopped taking them serious. And I found one coach, and his name was Yaya McClain, and we were training, and we had like a good year. But then he just was like, I don't want to train no more, man. So he just stopped training me. So then again, I'm out with no trainer. I'm probably about like 18, 19 at this time. I don't have no trainer. I don't have no fights. And then like even when I was younger, I was always bigger. So when I go get fights, I was unopposed because it was, it's like you 14, 15, you didn't really know heavyweights as 14, 15, and 16. So when I turned 17, you could pick between fight youth or you can go fight grown man. And I fought grown man immediately. But so with him, I had my first fight at 17. I fought a grown man. He was like 36 years old. He was like 6'6", 320 pounds. That was my first fight. And I did real good. I think it's on YouTube still. I did real good, but they said I lost. And everybody was like, nah, he didn't lose. But they said I lost. And then I just was like, I'm gonna get him again. I'm gonna get that get back. Everybody say you're too small. You gotta lose weight. But I've been big my whole life, so I can't all of a sudden go down to 147 because that's your height. I've been big my whole life. I've faced bigger guys my whole life. So people always say like too small, you're too small, they're too big, they're gonna kill. They're not. I've been 6'6", 6'4", 6'3". That's my whole life. I've seen it. So it's not nothing.
And it sounds like you got that experience from the age of 17 fighting guys that are much bigger than you. And your pro debut, did you fight a guy that was 380?
It was 380.
Wow. So you're used to already fighting these big guys. So once you get to the elite level, you talk about Deontay and Tyson Fury. You already have that experience fighting the bigger guys in the ring.
Yeah, like and people think height is a disadvantage. I use my height as an advantage. If they got to punch towards me, I just get lower. They got to punch down at me. I don't have to punch. I can punch up, and I can go to their body until the head drops. It's a disadvantage for them. That's how I look at it. Like my height is an advantage, and I'm not just a regular. I'm not regular 5'10". I'm fast. I'm strong. I'm powerful, and
you're pretty.
Yeah.
You know, I out of Muhammad Ali's book.
Yeah.
Fast, handsome man, pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, that's what I was saying to him. As I said, I was watching some of your film and some of your training, and I said to him, he reminds me of a young Tua. I said, he's similar in height to him. I said, he can get inside, and I said, and he's got speed inside. I said, some of those bigger guys, they don't have the speed inside. I said, he's got it. Is Tua somebody that you've watched film of? Or?
Watch a lot of Tua. I was watching earlier today. I watched a lot of Tua, man.
Never been knocked out. I mean, that dude was hard as bricks.
Yeah.
Now, DaCarree, when you get in the ring, are you looking to specifically knock the other guy out, or when the opportunity arises, you take it?
When the opportunity arises, I take it. I never really look for the knockout because like nothing too like these guys are big. Like I'm a big guy. I know one big hard punch not gonna put me down. So I think the same way for them, that one punch not gonna put them down. So I try to beat them down. Go to the body. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Beat them down, and if a punch that hit them that hurts, it lands, I'll take it. But that's never my goal to come there. I'm trying to first round knockout. That's never the goal. It's not. It's just if it comes, it comes. But I really want to show my skill. Like I'm real skilled. I'm a highly skilled heavyweight. I'm highly skilled. I'm not just power, not just speed. I'm highly skilled.
I got to say, I was impressed with your ability to go to the body. Do you feel like your height being 5'10", you have more of an angle to be able to dig in and take the guy's legs out by going to the body early on?
Yeah, going to the body early on, yeah. And then it just like with heavyweights, and I had to look myself in the mirror like I know if I was missing on doing abs, I don't do my abs like how I'm supposed to. There's a lot of heavyweights, they not doing the same thing. We big. So going to the body, I try to body shots, get the air out of them and try to flatten the tire.
What was
Absolutely.
it like? What was it like training with Roy? That must have been pretty exciting.
Yeah, that was
How
fun.
did that happen?
Okay, so when they announced the fight in September, we was trying with my coach and Tom, what's his name, Kalelo, I can't pronounce his last name, but they were DMing each other, like they DM each other a lot and they talk about boxing. So when that happened, he was like, I'm training Roy, I want Roy to spar Mac. So my coach like, yeah, that happened anytime, but they pushed the fight back. So coach, he asked me, said, when you think they can spar? And he was like, well, Roy really don't do hard sparring until probably last month of training. So it was like, okay, cool. So we just waiting, just with a lot of waiting. So it was like, I think I want to say like Thursday night, it was like 9:40. It had been like 9:40, probably 9:30. My coach got a DM from his coach saying, can Matt come up here and spar Roy on Saturday? It was like a Thursday. And so coach looked at me, he was like, you wanna go spar Roy? I was like, when? He said, Saturday. I said, what? I said, we driving? He was like, yeah, we driving. I was like, all right, bet. So I was in the gym at the time too. So I ran out the gym. I went and started washing clothes, packed my bags, and we was out that night. Me and my coach, we drove 13 hours like the next day. So when I drove probably like 4 hours and he drove the rest, and we was in Pittsburgh.
Wow. What were some of the takeaways you got from sparring with him? What were some of the tips he gave you?
Clinching, and he showed me like how to clinch a fighter in the inside. Like when everybody was saying Tyson was gonna knock him out, I tried to knock him. When we sparred, they said don't hold nothing back when you spar him. Like don't hold nothing back. I looked, I said, y'all should. I told the coach, he said, don't hold nothing back. So Roy was like, come on. So we was sparring, and Roy he was still fast. Like he'll do certain like fast stuff. And I'm like, oh, he's still fast. Like so we sparring, and that's when he started moving. He started doing what he did. Saturday is kind of what he started doing when we were sparring. Kept going. I just kept pressing, and like the last 30 seconds of the last round, he was like, his coach was telling him to grab. He was like, I ain't grabbing. Grab for what? I can take it. And I was trying to knock him out. Bangers. I'm trying to get him, and he clenching. He's moving his head. He grabbed me. And it was real smooth with it. And I was like, people think they gonna knock Roy out? Nah, Roy still got it, man. It's not. This knockout's not gonna happen. That was.
Did you watch the fight on Saturday night after training with Roy?
Yeah, I watched it. I was tuned in. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you find yourself rooting for Roy since you had recently worked with him, or Tyson, or who'd you have in the fight?
I was rooting for Roy. It was kind of like I'm going for Roy. Everybody was like, "You're crazy, Tyson." I'm like, "No, I'm going for Roy. Roy gonna do it." I believe a draw was good. You could say it's a draw, but I think Roy probably pulled off just a little bit, just because he was more busy at the end. And Tyson was even though Tyson was pressing you in the close rounds, you could say Roy didn't do enough, but you could say Tyson didn't do enough in the close rounds. But at the end of the fight, a draw was a good. It was a good decision. Roy came back in the last 4 rounds, and he put his hands together, and he was hitting Tyson with combinations, double left hooks and 1-2-3s. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He definitely came alive the second half of that fight, and it was like a totally different Roy than the first 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So that was exciting to see. And also, I mean, to see that he's still got that kind of gas in him at that age.
Yeah.
That's, I wouldn't mess with him at any age, but to see he's in his 50s and he's still moving like that, that's impressive.
They're moving real good, yeah.
So you got a fight next week.
Yeah,
next week. Have you found out your opponent yet?
No, we're still looking for an opponent. They were trying to give me like I told my coach like I want to kind of test myself a little bit.
Sure.
So he's like okay, well we find it like I was like I want somebody with a winning record, and coach was like okay, so we've been looking and so it's just people. A lot of people not taking that fight. It be people they pros. They got 30-some pro fights. They don't want to take it. So it's just we trying to find the right thing. So that's all. We just
I think they saw those Instagram training videos and they thought twice after that.
Yeah.
So what What about for 2021? You want to be pretty active next year?
Yeah, pretty active. I wanted to be pretty active this year, but the COVID slowed us up. But as soon as it opened up, I fought the next month. They allowed fights. I fought in July, so I want to be more. I want to get, I want to stay active and stay busy, and hopefully get on TV. I want to fight on TV, and I want to show the world.
You're looking to get signed.
Yeah, looking to get signed. Yeah, fight on TV and show the world that I'm the real deal. Like, a lot of people, they look at Instagram and it's a lot of cap on Instagram, like fighters, they not for real, but I'm the real deal. Like I fought in Olympic trials. I fought some of the best of the amateurs of the class, and I'm the real deal. I can do it, and that's what I believe.
Tell me about your experience with the Olympic trials. What was that like?
That, to be honest with you, that was my first time going to a national. I qualified for the trials, and it was back in December. I mean, not December. Last year, 2019 in March, and I fought Gretchen. He was number 3 at the time. I fought him on day 1, and I beat him. I beat him pretty easy. Then I fought Price Taylor. I won by split, and then I fought Jeremiah Milton. That fight, I believe I won, but you know what I'm saying. There was, they everybody say favoritism and all that. I don't want to say that. He probably pulled out. The judges probably saw he won, so I said, but I qualified for the trials. But and then in the Olympic trials, the day 1 I fought, I want to say Luis Alvarado. It was a war fight. It was war, and he just showed me that it's like experience play a key. Like if I hit him, I'm hitting him with my hardest shots to the body, and I'm beating him. I'm thinking I'm gonna stop him, and I pressed the gas so much that I gassed out the last 2 rounds because I thought I was gonna stop him in the first round. And it just showed me that even though you hit people with your best shot, you hit them with your best shot, and you working. Everybody not going down off your best shot. If he won. It's his dream, just like much your dream. You gotta put him down. You just can't hit him with a shot and think, oh, what's gonna happen. And that was all. Then the double elimination. I lost to another guy, Dominique Copio, and I feel like I won that fight too. I out jabbed him. He just ran the whole fight, but the judges saw it. They saw his way. That was it. But after that, I just realized my style. I don't have an amateur style. Like throwing punches, head down, throwing punches. That's kind of my style. I'm more slick, and I like to move, and I got good defense, and I want to counter body punches. And I feel like amateurs didn't count body shots. Yeah, the fights are on YouTube. You can Google them and you can see it on YouTube. But I just feel like amateur fights, they don't count body shots, and I'm a body puncher, and you gotta count those. To me, I feel like you had to count them. But in the pros, as I'm in the rounds, I start fighting later rounds, body shots for sure, and the late rounds I'll get it.
You mentioned working the jab when you were in the amateur. Hi there.
Hey, this is my daughter.
How you doing? She's beautiful.
Thank you.
Hi.
What's her name?
Jakari.
Yeah. Beautiful.
We got DaCarree and Jakari. I like it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned working the jab in the amateurs. Did you watch that Joyce Daniel Dubois fight last week?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched. I was going for the boys.
Same here.
I was really going for him, and I saw he was up on the cards even when he took the knee. So I don't know if he was my coach. I tried to defend him. My coach is saying he quit. I'm like, Coach, I don't know, but to me, he probably if I was hurting that bad, he quit. But you up on the cards, just get on your feet, run. And just survive. You know what I'm saying? You can survive 2 rounds. You give up 2 rounds, and the best he can get is a draw. And I just felt like he should have pushed through that one. I really thought he should have pushed through that one.
I agree with you, and that was in fairness to Joyce though. That jab was just nonstop, right in that eye all night. And when it started to swell up, I said, "This is definitely causing problems for him." And then when he took that knee, I said, I was not expecting that. I really thought he was going to put
I wasn't expecting that one either. It was just he took the knee. I was like, whoa. And to be honest, Joyce didn't even land 5 right hands that whole fight. So it was just the jab. I was just going to work.
It shows how important it is. Is that somebody you'd like to get in the ring with, Du Bois?
Yeah, I like getting Du Bois. It's funny, me and Jeremiah Milton's so cool. He was on the UK sparring. Du Bois getting ready for the fight. So I love to get in the ring with Du Bois. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, he's a big name over there, and he's getting a lot of popularity here too.
Yeah.
What on your next fight next week, are there going to be fans there?
Say it again.
Will your fight next week, are they going to have fans at the arena?
Yeah, they're gonna have fans. Yeah, it's gonna be fans. And hey, you have to be quiet.
What's it been like though training during COVID? I mean, I don't know how it was in Georgia, but up here, gyms shut down completely. Guys couldn't even get in to hit the bag, and people are just doing road work and working on this.
Well, we were shut down, but it's me and my coach. We have a key. It's his gym, so
Sure.
we were still working. Like,
Yeah.
we probably when it first hit, we probably took a week off. But then he said he was like, "Hey man, we gotta still work. So when it opened up, it's gonna be go time."
I think you got a sleeping bag at that gym, because every time I see you post, you're there 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then you're talking about that you're doing your road work at midnight. So
Yeah.
you got yourself a bed there?
Almost. We got a couch though. I'll be on the couch.
Every time you post, you're there. I look at my watch. Early morning, late night, you're still there. So that's impressive. Yeah. That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm a gym rat. I stay in the gym.
Well, we can see you're also a family man. I heard you said Atlanta is kind of a wild place, but you're more of a family man. Don't drink, don't smoke, and just there to hit the gym.
Yeah, I don't drink, don't smoke. I go home and I stay at the gym. That's kind of what I do. Like, it's just, if you could say I play the game sometimes, but I just be in the gym, go home. We play. The people from the gym. We kind of be at the same. They come at my house all at the same time, so we be playing board games and like we just.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I got. Sorry, go ahead, Carl.
Oh yeah. So I had one more question. DaCarree, you mentioned checking out the YouTube videos of the Olympic trials, and I saw it must have been one of your buddies was filming it, because every shot is going boom, boom, and it sounds like you got a pretty good hype man out there.
Oh yeah. That's one of our gym members. That's actually the Michael Harris. He's a pro fighter. He fought on Tank Car a couple times, but that was him. He was at the Olympic trials for me. Like he be always at the fights and supportive and everything.
I was thinking he must be like your Boudini Brown to Muhammad Ali. It's like the hype man.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
It's always good to have somebody like that in your corner.
Right.
So I just got one last question for you too. Who are you picking this weekend? You got Spence or you got Dany?
Oh, so we was having an argument at the gym yesterday about this. So I personally want Spence to win. I do. I really do. I'm going for Spence.
Yeah.
But reality is, Dany Garcia is not no walkover, man.
No.
And I feel like with the accident that Spence occurred, like, we don't know how he really is. We don't know. Like,
True.
It's been a year. You know what I'm saying? They say he didn't start sparring until like September, October. So a whole year since contact, and I don't know what Spence is gonna show. I don't know how different he's gonna be. I feel like he should have had a tune-up fight, or fought. Just a tune-up, just to see how it is, so we can look at him. But Dany's not an easy chew. Like, Dany, he gonna come. We know what Dany gonna bring. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I want Spence to win, but it's not. I think it's gonna be a good fight. I really do. I don't think Spence is gonna just walk him over and knock him out.
I agree. I think Spence is going to win on the cards, because Garcia's he's a hard-nosed guy. I don't see anybody knocking him out right now.
Right, and he got crack. He can punch, man.
Yep.
I really believe it. Southpaw, left hook, and Dany throws the left hook, and Spence is southpaw. They can catch him. So, yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming on with us tonight, and we look forward to hopefully having you on again. Hopefully you'll have a belt with you the next time we talk. That'd be pretty exciting.
That'd be great.
How can the listeners watch your fight next week? Is it going to be streamed?
Oh, I believe so. I gotta look again. I saw something that is gonna be streamed.
Okay.
But I know when they come around, when it's time to stream the fight, sometimes they crash it so they don't get streamed. But I believe it's gonna be streamed.
Okay, great. Well, we can look that up and put it on the YouTube page. How can people follow you?
Or you can find me at __ MacTruck MACTRUCK _ on Instagram and on Twitter. The same 2 underscores before and after. Same thing.
Awesome. DaCarree Scott, Mac Truck, 3-0. Going to be 4-0 next week.
Yes,
we
sir.
appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm a true champion.